weekend, the World Health Organization, issued the warning that we need to take monkeypox seriously. It's here. It's an outbreak, and we need to make sure that we are prepared and we are ready. Let me just say this as politically incorrect as I can. Unless you are engaging in some type of non-traditional, some might even say perverse, sexual behavior, your chances of getting it are, nil to none to nada. But again, it's another one of those little viruses that we also found out they had been experimenting with over in, you guessed it, yes, the lab in Wuhan. It's the sequel. They're back by popular demand. Yes, the same lab that brought you coronavirus now brings you monkeypox. But in reality, as they try to fear us up again, as they try to build it up again so that Big Pharma can roll out another love potion number 9 and you can line up and take it whether you want it or not, and like Oliver Twist say, "Please, sir, may I have some more?" The real crisis we are facing in this nation right now is donkey pox. You heard me, donkey pox. You know, the donkey, that symbol of the Democratic Party. Because in reality, the real crisis that we face in this nation is wondering if by the time demented Obama Biden is through with his term in office, if there will even be an America left. Think about how they spin literally everything. Obama Biden, recently diagnosed with coronavirus, has himself yet not actually addressed reporters or talked to anyone. He gave the little video out there on the balcony of the White House. "I'm getting a lot done. I'm feeling fine." The truth is, he did that unmasked, and everything was fine. When Donald Trump got coronavirus and was seen working actually while he was at the hospital, and then when Marine One brought him back to the White House, and reporters across this country, their heads exploded live on CNN and PMSNBC when Donald Trump, walking across the lawn of the White House, took off the mask and that basically he was going to kill people. That was seen as dangerous. Obama Biden, who literally has dementia and other issues and apparently cancer from oil refineries spitting goo on his parents' windshield when he was a kid. Yeah, he doesn't have cancer. He has asthma because he's told that same story about the goo on the windshield giving him asthma. And according to his doctor, he doesn't have asthma either. So he's either forgotten that he doesn't have these things or he's a liar. But, one look at Joe Biden and you know that there are problems. But yet, he's strong enough and healthy enough to not mask up, and that should inspire us. But Donald Trump not masking up, that was a national security threat, and we better impeach him over that. So, donkeypox is the real crisis that we are facing. And they lie. Hey, having trouble paying for gas? Buy an electric car. Right, because an electric car really is green energy friendly. Have you ever looked at all of the ingredients that are needed to manufacture the battery that goes into an electric car? How many pounds it takes of lithium? What is required in the coal they're going to need to manufacture these batteries? And the list goes on and on and on, and all the fossil fuel that will have to be spent to dig down into the ground and go after these materials needed so that we can have reusable green energy. We're told it's summer, it's hot. Hey, the power grid can't handle all of you people trying to run your air conditioner. But those same people are saying, get rid of your gas guzzling car and get an electric car, because our power grid can handle 300 million Americans plugging in their electric cars simultaneously. See, again, we get lied to the point where they literally think that written across your forehead is stupid. And I realize, if you're of the liberal persuasion, there's a good probability that's true. I walk around now and I'm still seeing people masking up, because after all, there's monkeypox, there's the BA.5 variant, and it just, the insanity doesn't end. But Donkeypox is now trying to convince us that inflation is good. Inflation is good. It'll keep you from buying things you don't really need. Can you imagine if there had been inflation under Donald Trump and his answer was, it'll keep people from buying things they don't really need? It would have been, again, he would have been deemed as being a traitor to the country, and he had to be impeached. The Donkeypox is telling us that Ukraine is a democracy. Have you been following any of the reports about all of the offshore, out-of-country bank accounts that Zelensky's had and still has? You ever wonder where all that $54 billion we've been shipping over to Ukraine, is it actually making a difference? Are the people actually receiving the benefit of that? And we get lied to constantly about what's happening over there. The Russians took out a mall. Thousands of people were killed, because I know when war is ravaging all around you, your first thought is, oh my goodness, we're being invaded by a foreign enemy, and people are being shot in the streets and things are blowing up. But wait, there's a sale at the mall. Let's go. The real reports are the mall was virtually abandoned, and the only thing in it was some businesses were using it basically as a glorified warehouse. Jimmy Dore, in looking at the footage of the smoldering ashes of that mall when we were being told that Vlad Putin killed tens of thousands of innocent lives. Really, there were tens of thousands of people at the mall in a war zone. But even Jimmy Dore, as he's watching the video footage, he asked a question that, to be quite honest, I missed watching the video footage till he said something. If that place was filled with thousands of patrons, customers, etc., why is the parking lot empty? Usually, when you go by a mall that's actually open, because we know most of them here in the United States are closed and out of business. I happen to live near a mall that actually is thriving. It does very well. There's no vacancies in the mall. There's several hundred outlets in that mall, and anytime I go by the parking lots, plural, they're full. There's a multi-story parking garage. It's full. And at Christmas time, it's insane full. But it's always full. It's always busy. And once in a while, my wife and I do go there. And not because we're like mall people. I like to go there just once in a while to remind myself that, yep, there are still vestiges of America still intact. And I like to see the American consumer out there. I like to be around people. And I like the hot pretzels at the food court, probably more than I should. But you've got Donkeypox trying to convince you that what's happening in Ukraine is a fight for democracy. Bullhawk. It's a fight for Zelensky's oligarch. Because remember, it's another one of those coup d'etats that we had a part in. And John Bolton and others are now feeling emboldened as former CIA members are being interviewed on softcore news, mainstream news, even faux pas news like Fox News with Laura Ingraham, as they sit there and laugh as they talk about the number of regimes where they have messed with the elections and toppled duly elected leaders to replace them with those that we want. But of course, they would never do that here. They would never take the people's choice and just decide, yeah, but he's not part of the establishment. He's an outsider. He's a loose cannon. He's dangerous. We can't have him, even if it was. And now, am I talking about 2020? But Chuck E. Cheese Schumer did give President Trump a warning. When you go after the intel community, they've got 50 ways from Sunday to hurt you. That was a threat. That was a prophetic commentary. The Russia, Ukraine, or I'm sorry, the Russia collusion, the endless attempts to impeach Donald Trump, the insurrection hearings that we're having right now on January 6th. You know what's actually happening on January 6th? I was paying less than $2 a gallon for gas. The economy worked, and I could basically go anywhere I wanted to in this country and get a job. But Monkeypox has us convinced inflation is good, Ukraine is a democracy, girls are boys. Yeah, that's, you know, when Joe Biden appeared on, was it Jimmy Kimmel? And, Mr. President, so many things are going wrong. Is there some hope you can give the American people? Yes. Watch some TV commercials. They're all filled with interracial couples now. Wait, what? Gillette is now making razors where they're teaching trans women who are now men how to shave. And this is the insanity that they're trying to shovel at us as it's a great day in America. We're told under Monkeypox, which apparently creates all type of psychotic delusion, men can have babies. Can I, at the risk of getting fact-checked, point out the obvious? No, they can't. Men don't have uteruses. And even if the person is transing from a woman to a man, apparently they kept all the biological equipment in place, you're still a woman. We're told after months of decline and how many quarters now of complete loss, GDP on the decline. Well, that's not a recession. That's not a recession. Gee, it always has been a recession in the past. Every economist in the world has said 2 months of consecutive GDP decline is a recession. It may be a late recession, but it's a recession. The White House says no. So they redefine male, they redefine female. Apparently now they get to redefine why that's not loss. We're gaining. Don't you understand? Not having what you need in the stores is good for you. Then you're not wasting your money. Don't you understand gas prices being high? That's wonderful. Now you will feel the pain and you will make the switch to green energy. Let me tell you something. Personally, I don't have an issue with electric cars. I think at some point we will have the infrastructure in place where it will be very practical to take off on down the highway. And when you need a recharge, there will be places that you'll be able to zip in and get a quick recharge like you would a quick fill up of a tank of gas. I think all that's coming. But until it gets here, you're not going to make me do this. If it gets to where I can't afford gas, I will buy a donkey and I will name the donkey Brandon. This is beyond ridiculous. And now we've got Dr. Fauci that I was so hopeful after he announced his retirement we're done. But apparently all the news shows want to talk to the Fauci man. And he's now going to go on his endless goodbye tour. It's kind of like, how many times has Barbra Streisand given a farewell concert? How many times has she retired? At some point, you just want to say, for the love of God already, just go away. And that's where we're at now with Dr. Anthony Fauci. Everybody's having him on, and of course, he's talking about, he actually said on Faux Pas News, formerly known as Fox News, and he said this on Rising, because they did give him pushback. And they're leftists. They're progressives. But he said on Rising that He was asked, would he have done anything different in the early stages of the pandemic, what he knows now? Now, they were really expecting him to give a really honest answer, like, now that you know it's come from a lab, now that you know that certain things we didn't work, and certain medications and treatments really did work, even though we said at the time they didn't work, and if you talk about them, you're accused of spreading medical disinformation. Would you change any of that? And what Fauci said was, yes, I would have had stronger mandates, and everybody would have masked up, and it would not have been your own choice. You would have been made to. Even though the data is now overwhelming from multiple scientific sources telling us that lockdowns and wearing the hat, still have to be careful because YouTube still likes to purge, wearing the hat did little to nothing. He's now trying to also take a victory lap that his guidance during the pandemic saved millions of lives. And he says this with a straight face. Now, some GOP Congress people are pushing back on that a little bit. But the reality will be, if we take over the Congress, will there be any real investigation into what this maniac perpetrated on the world with his funding of the gain of function in the Wuhan lab, and this thing affected the entire planet? In reality, probably no. Just like Hunter's going to walk. I hate to shock you, but you know, monkeypox means Hunter's gets a pass. So that's where we're at. Monkeypox has infected the land. And more than you need to worry about, you know, some type of primate pox that you get if you engage in some type of abnormal, depraved, sexual proclivity and behavior, beware of monkeypox. And there's only one known cure for donkeypox. Vote them out of office.